Great. Are the students here? Yes. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Can you hear me? Yes. Well, we're going to have a great morning today. We have some wonderful students here from USF, Kendra and Rachel, and Sola, who are going to give you a fantastic lesson today. So, and they're going to be teaching you about nutrition and sensory organs and hygiene. So you're going to have a great job. And my name is Mrs. Ken, and I work at USF. And basically my job at USF is to help our students find places to go out and volunteer in the community and to help the teachers find great students. So when they come to me and ask for great students, of course I know to always go to the public health students because they're the best. And then I tell them about these great opportunities and I bring them to you. And also I want to mention that I'm a mom too, and I hope that will give me a few points with you. And my two children went through the public schools from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So have a great time, and you're going to learn so much this morning from our students. Take it away, Rachel and Kendra and Sola. Thank you.
So hi guys, we're waiting for one of our group mates to still join, but we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. Alrighty. Oop. It actually says the host has disabled screen sharing. So do you know if there's any way to turn that on?
Miss York, can you help us with that?
Yeah. I think so.
I'm sorry?
Oh, can you help Rachel so that she can share the screen, please?
Yeah, it says that the screen sharing has been disabled.
There you go. It should be good now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All righty, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah? All righty. Go ahead, Kendra.
Okay, hi everyone. Oops, let me move this a little bit. Hi everyone, my name is Kendra and happy Monday and welcome to your Medical Monday presentation. Let's all clap, yay. Next slide. Okay, so like I said, welcome. Today we're going to share just a little bit of knowledge with you guys about your senses, hygiene, and nutrition. So like Ms. Kent mentioned earlier, we're students from the University of South Florida, so we're all college students, and we are a part of the Public Health Scholars Program. Next slide.
So we're gonna go through and introduce a little bit about ourselves first, just so you guys can get to know us. So my name is Rachel. I'm a senior, which means I'm in my last year of college, and I am majoring in biomedical sciences and public health, which means that's what I'm studying. And my goal someday is to become a pediatric and infectious disease physician. So that means that I want to become a doctor that helps kids like you when they might be struggling with certain illnesses or sicknesses and stuff like that. So my main interests are in epidemiology, which I know is a really big word, but basically that's just all about the spread of disease and tracking how a disease spreads among different people. Health disparities, which is basically the difference between different groups or populations in their access to be able to get health care. So being able to go to the doctor or go to the hospital when they need to. And global health, which is just studying how people around the world are able to get the health care they need. So a fun fact about me, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, I have two cats. This one right here, her name is Mora. This one is named Morella. And I also have a betta fish, her name is Alba. I have a snail named GT, and a blackfin shark, which is basically just a catfish, but it's pretty cool to say I have a shark, right? And his name is Squalo.
Okay, so hello again. My name is Kendra. I am also a senior, meaning I'm in my last year of college, and I'm studying the same thing as Rachel, so public health. how to keep people healthy and different ways to make sure you guys have what you need. When I grow up, I'd like to be a dentist. So I like to be the one that's cleaning your teeth, or let's say you have a cavity or you need to get a tooth pulled. Hopefully you'll see me in the future. A fun fact about myself is that I like to crochet and knit. So if you have, maybe, an older person, your grandparents, and you see them with the sticks and the yarn and they're making blankets, that's what I do. And so that picture of those shoes in the middle, those are some baby shoes that I made for someone out of yarn.
So Leanne is currently trying to join us. Miss York, it says that she's waiting for the host. Is there any way that you're able to see if she's able to come in? Okay, perfect. Hi, Leanne, can you hear us?
Hi, how to open the video? Wait,
It should be in the bottom left-hand corner, and
Okay,
should have a little video sign.
thank you.
Perfect. Okay, we already introduced ourselves, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, hello, my name is Minhu, and my major is public health, and I'm a junior right now in College of Public Health, USF. My interest in nutrition, and I love swimming in my spare time and cooking food. My favorite is Mexican bowl, and I would like to be a community health worker to promote the nutrition in community.
Awesome. Alrighty. So now that you guys have learned a little bit about us and what we're interested in, we're going to share a little bit about what we know about these different topics today with you guys. So I'm going to talk about your senses. I'm sure you guys have heard of these before, right? So all of us have 5 different senses that we can all use with varying ability. So sometimes someone can see better than somebody else, or sometimes someone can see better than another person. So we're all able to use our senses differently. And the important thing about our senses is that it helps us take in information about our environment, right? So the world around us. And by taking in that information, our brain can help us determine what the best decision to make for us is. So for example, if you have some cookies baking in the oven and you don't want your cookies to get burnt, you can use your smell to see if those cookies are burning. You can smell whether they're burning or not, and you can take them out to make sure that they don't get ruined. So that's kind of a perfect example of how our senses can work together to help us make good decisions. So the process of hearing and touching, tasting and smelling are all very complex, and I'll try to help, break those topics down a little bit today. But each of them is really important to human health because how our senses function helps us determine what kind of life that we live. So if we have trouble seeing, we need to make sure that we get glasses and we have access to that kind of care, right? So all these things are important to making sure that we're healthy people. So, like I said before, there are 5 senses, and each sense has a different organ or a different body part that helps us be able to do those things, right? So we have hearing, which is our ears that help us do that. We have touch, which is our skin. Usually we think about our hands, but you can feel all kinds of touch on your body, and that's thanks to our skin. We have taste, which uses your tongue. You have sight, which uses your eyes, and you have smell, which uses your nose. So the cool thing is that we use all of these senses at the same time, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. And a lot of times, one of these senses will often influence the other. And what that means is that, for example, if you hold your nose while you're trying to eat something, a lot of the times it won't taste the same. Have you ever thought about that? That's because our sense of smell and our sense of taste are very intertwined. So basically, we can't taste as much if we don't have that sense of smell. So they're all very important and all work together in that sense. So the first sense we're going to talk about is hearing. So hearing is the ability to pick up different sounds through the process of using your ears. So your ears basically have sound waves that enter them, and that's how you process sound. So sound waves are basically, let's say me talking right now, that produces a little sound wave and that goes into your ears and helps you understand what I'm saying and helps you hear that. So people who aren't able to hear are known as deaf, and the deaf community often communicates through sign language, and they have things called hearing aids that can help them hear, and those get put on the back of their ear, and that can basically help them be able to hear just like you and I do. So our ears are made up of 3 different parts. So we have the outer ear, which is this part right here. It's the part that's on the side of your head that you can see. And the outer ear helps to take that sound and funnel it into our ear inside of our head. So on the inside of our head, we have the middle ear, which is right here, if you can see. And so basically, that contains an eardrum. And those eardrums help us to vibrate those little sounds that come into our ear and process them to make more sense out of them. And the inner ear uses this little nerve right here. It's called an auditory nerve. And basically a nerve is just like a bundle of, you know, almost, you can think of them like as your body's like little wires, right? It's like a bundle of nerves that come together and they're able to send different signals to different parts of your body. So this nerve right here is able to take those waves that the eardrum makes from your middle ear and send them into your brain so that you're able to hear and process the sound. So that's kind of a little bit of breakdown about that. So touch is the ability to feel something, right? A physical sensation. So whenever an object touches you or maybe somebody else touches you, that's what touch is. So the way that we're able to do that is by using one of our largest organs, or the largest organ actually, which is our skin. So that covers your whole body, right? And the skin itself has 3 layers. So the top layer that we can actually see, right, this outer layer that we all have, is called the epidermis. So I know that's a really big word, but it's not too complicated. That's just, like I said, the outer layer of skin. And that's what's most affected when you get a sunburn. You'll see your skin get red, or let's say you get a cut, you'll see your skin bleed, and that's usually where you're getting your cuts at. And that's also like when the place that we're touching that allows us to feel that touch. So underneath this top layer of skin, we have a second layer of skin, as you can see on the diagram, and that's called the dermis. So the dermis has these different tiny little receptors, right, that allow us to determine what kind of sensation we're feeling. So they're basically tiny little things underneath your skin that allow you to sense different things. So you can see right here, you have one receptor that allows you to sense temperature, so whether something's hot or cold. You have another receptor that allows you to sense touch, so when something's touching you. You have another receptor that senses pain. So let's say if you were to touch a stove, that would be both this thermoreceptor and this pain receptor. Both of those would work together to tell you that's hot and that hurts, right? And then you also have a pressure receptor, which is right over here. And basically that lets you know how hard something is pushing down on you. And some parts of your body are much more sensitive than others. For example, your hands are really sensitive, right? Because that's what you use to interact with everything around you. And so that means that your hands have more of these tiny little receptors in them than maybe something like your back, because your back doesn't really need to touch a lot of things. So taste is basically the ability to perceive or like feel any kind of flavor of a food or substance that you put into your mouth, right? So your tongue is made up of 8,000 different taste buds. And each of these taste buds is able to break down a certain flavor and send that information to your brain so that you can understand what that certain thing tastes like. So your tongue has 4 different types of taste buds. So you have a sweet taste buds that are towards the tip of your tongue. You have salty taste buds that are towards the lower sides of your tongue, sour taste buds that are towards the upper sides of your tongue, and bitter taste buds that are towards the back of your tongue. And so when you eat certain foods, each of these taste buds picks up on those specific kinds of flavors and sends that information to your brain so you can taste the overall taste of that food. So sight is the ability to see around you. So someone who isn't able to see is blind. We call them blind. And there's different tools that blind people can use to help them navigate throughout their world. So sometimes they can use Braille, which is basically little bumps that are arranged in a certain way that they're able to feel, and it's able to help them read or learn. And then in order to travel, a lot of times blind people may use a guide dog, which helps them basically functions as their eyes as they navigate around their environment. So your eyeballs is what allow you to see. So within your eyes, you have two different things. They're called rods and cones. And rods are what helps you determine the difference between light and dark. And so these are just things that are tiny little cells in your eyes that help you determine that. And cones are what help you determine the presence of color. So once again, those are just tiny little parts of your eyes that help you determine something that's colorful when you see it. So basically, all of this information that's gathered by these tiny little parts of your eyes is able to get sent to your brain through an optic nerve, just like how we talked about the auditory nerve. There's a nerve for your eyes as well, and that's sent to your brain to help you be able to understand what you're seeing. So a fun little activity that we're going to do right now is I want you guys to look at the screen, okay? Now, can you guys see how these little wheels look like they're moving, right? If you look at them, don't they look like they're kind of moving around each other, right? Yeah, yeah. So the crazy thing is that these aren't actually moving at all. It's just something that our brain kind of plays a trick on us with our eyes. So an optical illusion is a puzzle that uses different colors or patterns to kind of trick our brain into perceiving something that's different than what it actually is. And so what that means is when you look at the screen, it looks like that picture is moving, right? But it actually isn't. And basically that happens because when we look at that, our eyes are processing it one way and our brain is processing it another way. And so it kind of tricks ourselves into thinking that something looks like it when it's moving when it doesn't. So that's just like a cool little thing that sometimes our brain can get really tripped up by really complex images because it's just not used to looking at that stuff. So smell is this sense of being able to determine an odor, right? So whether it's really stinky or whether it's something really sweet. So basically your nose is a big part of being able to smell, but also your brain is a big part of being able to help you smell as well, just like a lot of your other senses. So basically it's called the olfactory system, which I know is a big word too, but that basically just means it's the nose and the part of your brain that helps you be able to smell. So your nose is used to breathe in certain substances that are giving off an odor. So for example, when you breathe in those the scent of those cookies are giving off a certain smell. So you use your nose to breathe in. And those substances interact with these special tiny little cells or these special tiny little parts of your nose way back in your nasal cavity, which is back here. And they interact with your brain to tell you what you're smelling. So your brain is able to pick up on those little tiny substances that you're breathing in, and it's able to let you know whether that you like that smell or whether it's gross or what something smells like. And so a really cool thing about our noses is that they can get adapted to certain scents, right? So if you've ever been somewhere that's really stinky, like if you've ever gone to like a fish market, or let's say you've ever been to the beach and it smells like rotten fish, you'll notice after a while that you don't smell that anymore after you've been there for a long time. And basically that happens because our nose gets so used to that scent that we're breathing in that our brain doesn't even process it anymore. So that's called adaptation. Alrighty, so I'll go ahead and let Kendra talk to you guys about hygiene.
Okay, hi everyone. So like Rachel mentioned, I'm going to be talking about hygiene, and we're going to be focusing on why and how to wash your hands. Next slide. Okay, so why do I need to wash my hands? So like Rachel mentioned earlier, we like to touch a lot of things with our hands. So, you know, when you're playing on your iPad, or, you know, you grab the TV remote, or you're doing anything with your hands, you know, you're touching it. So what happens when we touch these things? Well, there can be things called germs on these different items. So like germs are they're really small, like you can't see them with your eye, and they tend to either make you sick or make other people sick around you. So we wash our hands in order to get rid of these germs and harmful substances. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the germ experiment. And you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen. Okay, can everybody see the plates? Okay, so for this experiment, I'm just using water, pepper, and my favorite hand soap. So in this experiment, the pepper is gonna represent different germs that we can come in contact with on a daily. So on this first plate, I'm gonna sprinkle a lot of pepper because there can be a lot of different germs on anything we touch. So our hands can attract a lot of different germs, and when we don't wash our hands, it's easier for us to get these germs on our hands. So when I stick my finger in this water, it's gonna pick up all the germs that surround it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna rub it around a little bit. So yeah, now you see my hand, there's a lot of different germs on it. And that's what we don't want. We want to get rid of the germs. So on this next plate, we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to show you how using soap can prevent and keep the germs away. So we're going to sprinkle some more pepper, aka the germs, all on the plate. Ooh, there we go. Okay, and so I'm going to use 2 pumps of my favorite hand soap. I'm gonna rub it all on my finger. And now when I put my finger in this water, all the germs are gonna go away from my finger because they don't wanna get in contact with the soap because the soap is gonna get rid of them. So now I'm gonna stick my finger in the water. You see, it all moved to the edge of the plate. Because remember how it was all in the center and now they moved all away from the soap because the soap is gonna get rid of them. So now you see the difference of how soap can help you fight germs. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about when do I wash my hands. So you wanna wash your hands anytime you see any dirt on it. So let's say you went outside and now you have dirt all on your hands. Or let's say you were painting, finger painting. You wanna get rid of that paint or that dirt with some good soap and water. You also wanna wash your hands before and after you eat or after using the bathroom. You also want to do it when, like, after you blow your nose because, maybe you got a little bit of snot or some booger on your hands. You don't want to give that to your friends or any of your relatives or anything. So you want to wash your hands. And lastly, you want to make sure wash your hands after touching pets and before and after you visit someone who's sick. Okay, so now you're probably asking, like, how do I wash my hands? So the first step in washing your hands is just you want to damp your hands just a little bit with some water. Then, like I said, you want to grab your favorite soap. You're going to use like 1 or 2 pumps. For your little hands, you'll probably only need 1 pump. And you want to make sure you scrub, 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 scrub. And while you're scrubbing, make sure you get in between your fingers and underneath your fingernails. While you're scrubbing, you can sing like the birthday song like 1 or 2 times to make sure you spend enough time scrubbing your hands to get rid of all of the germs. Then once you're done scrubbing and you're done singing the birthday song, happy birthday song, you're gonna rinse your hands with some warm water. You don't want it to be too hot or too cold because you don't want it to hurt. You want it to feel just right and to get all the suds and the soap away. And once you see no more bubbles from scrubbing your hands, you're gonna turn off the water, grab a paper towel, dry your hands, and then throw the paper towel in the trash.
Okay, thank you, Rachel and Kendra. Now explore nutrition with me, okay? Do you like food and drink you eat every day?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sharing. Um, food and drinks you eat every day provide the energy to learn and play, and the nutrients you need to be healthy. So nutrition is about eating healthy and balanced diet. But what does the healthy diet look like? Okay, kids' healthy eating plate is an example of healthy meal. As you can see here, half of the plate includes fruits and vegetables. You should eat plenty of fruits of all colors. Red apples, green pears, or blueberries. So you are also encouraged to eat many kinds of vegetables like carrots, mushrooms, or lettuce. Notice that potatoes and French fries are unhealthy vegetable sources because they are fried with a lot of fat. But olive oil provides healthy fat, so you can add a little olive oil to your salad. Another half of the plate has healthy protein and whole grains. You should get healthy protein from beans, chicken, eggs, but avoid eating bacon and hot dogs. Moreover, whole grains, which are brown rice or whole grains bread, is better than pizza crust or pasta. Finally, don't forget a cup of milk and a cup of water. It's awesome to know how to eat healthily, right? Ms. Kendra and Ms. Rachel told you about hygiene and sensory organs related to COVID-19. I would like to share with you some tips to keep you stay healthy and keep fit during COVID as well. First, don't eat junk food and sweets. I know it's hard to say no to junk food and sweets, but if you want to protect your teeth and avoid being overweight, you should limit eating cookies, chicken nuggets, and limit drinking Coke. Second, remember drinking enough water. Children should drink at least 6 cups of water a day. Third, enjoy one or some physical activities 30 minutes a day. You can join activities with your family, such as walking with mommy and daddy. Last but not least, sleeping well and getting plenty of sleep. I believe you will feel better when you wake up. All right, I hope the information we bring to you today will help you stay healthy and have fun. Next, let's enjoy a song with me to wrap up the nutrition lesson. This song named A Healthy Meal.
Thanks for the meal. Yum, 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 eat it too. Yum, 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 healthy meal. Yum, 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 eat it too. Let's have a healthy meal. Yum, yum. Don't be picky, no, no. Let's have a healthy meal. Don't be whiny, no, no. Let's have a tasty meal. Broccoli, tomatoes, onions, peppers, and black beans. Have a seat and eat well. Let's have a healthy meal. Okay.
Thank you for having us today. Do you have any questions?
Have questions?
No.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand over here in front of the computer so I can see you. Right there. Ask your question right here.
Okay.
You always have to eat healthy meals.
Excuse me.
So honey, that's not a question.
Oh.
Cherish.
Mhm.
Okay.
We eat some broccoli and we eat some carrots, and that's food and vegetables. So you to
Yes.
eat some
You,
broccoli.
yeah, they are vegetable and it's good for your health.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quickly, if you're gonna go quickly. In front of the camera so you can see me. At the computer and then ask the question.
And we always need to drink water.
Sorry, can you speak?
Sellers drinking water.
Drinking water.
Oh yes, you should drink 6 cups of water a day. Hydrate yourself, especially after you have activities.
That's it. What do you guys say? Thank you guys.
Welcome.
It was fun presenting to you today. Bye. Bye guys.
Bye.